This evening, first, tragedy and justice. A chilling case of domestic violence ends in court. Security boss Ghalee Khan is charged and remanded for the murder of government employee Marissa Beete. The heartbreaking details and the growing calls for stronger protections for women coming up. Plus, fashion meets fallout. As excitement builds for the Origins Guyana Fashion Festival, a US-based designer accuses the government of idea theft and political misuse. We'll unpack the controversy and what organizers are saying as the show prepares to go on. Also, more keys, more dreams. 1,000 more families in Region 3 now have a place to call home. We'll take you inside the government's latest house allocation and hear how the $10 billion investment is reshaping lives in the Wales housing scheme. Meanwhile, Guyana on the world stage. Ecotourism, clean energy, and national pride takes the spotlight in Japan as over 22,000 visitors flock to Guyana's pavilion at World Expo 2025. Why global eyes are now on our green transformation. And deported, then denied. The US Supreme Court says Kilmar Garcia was wrongly deported, but the Department of Justice won't bring him back. We'll break down the legal limbo and what this case means for immigration rights. Stay tuned, these stories and more tonight on Headline News Update. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for April 15, 2025. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, as Ghalee Khan faces murder charges in the death of Marissa Beete, the case adds to growing alarm over deadly violence against women. Dale Jarvis explains.
Ghalee Khan, a 47-year-old businessman of Lamaha Springs, Georgetown, has been charged and remanded to jail for the murder of 30-year-old Marissa Beete, an employee of the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture, when he appeared at the Wales Magistrates Court today, April 15, 2025. Khan appeared before Magistrate Rondell Weaver at the Wales Magistrates Court, where the charge was read to him. He was not required to plead. Khan was remanded to prison until May 27, 2025. The incident occurred on Tuesday, April 8, 2025 at Beete's home in Regdorzy, Farfay Harmony, West Bank Demerara. Police say Khan visited Beete under the pretense of wanting to talk. Despite warnings from her mother, Beete let him in. Moments later, the mother heard the sounds of gunshots. Upon check-in, she found her daughter slumped over a chair with a gunshot wound to the head. Khan then turned the weapon on himself in what police believe was a murder-suicide attempt. Investigators recovered a firearm, live rounds, spent shells, and a bullet fragment from the scene. Beete was pronounced dead at the West Demerara Hospital, while Khan survived and was hospitalized in serious condition at the Georgetown Public Hospital following surgery. Khan, a licensed firearm holder and operator of Integrated Security Service, was previously convicted of drug trafficking in the United States. The incident follows another recent tragedy involving the shooting death of 28-year-old Kenesha Vaughn by her partner, highlighting growing concerns over violence against women in Guyana. Advocates are calling for urgent action and stronger protections for women as the country continues to grapple with the devastating toll of domestic abuse. Reporting for Headline News Update, Dale Jarvis.
Thanks, Dale. Final preparations are underway for the Origins Guyana Fashion Festival, set for May 2nd to 4th at the Railway Courtyard in Georgetown. The event, led by producer and creative director Andrea King, promises a vibrant celebration of fashion and culture, with rehearsals beginning this week and tickets to be released soon. King reported a strong response from local audiences and the Guyanese diaspora, noting the diverse lineup of seasoned and emerging models and designers. The three-day festival will highlight local talent and creatives from abroad, all set to deliver a world-class fashion experience. However, the event has sparked controversy following claims by American Guyanese fashion designer Marissa Wilson, who accused the government of Guyana of using her ideas without her permission.
3 years ago, I pitched a proposal directly to Guyanese Minister of Tourism, a runway show to celebrate Guyanese culture, to grow the local fashion industry, and to bring tourism to the country. We had multiple conversations stating that this project was a top priority for Minister Waldron.
Wilson alleges that a proposal she submitted in 2022 to showcase Guyanese fashion and promote tourism was used to reshape the current event, now being linked to President Irfaan Ali's re-election campaign.
The government is now doing that same exact idea, but this time it is politicized It is designed to support the president's re-election campaign, not the fashion community.
Wilson, who said she shared materials and ideas with organizing director Alex Graham, claimed she was later cut out of the project without credit or compensation. She also alleged that her photos, brand materials, and name was used to promote the event without consent. Meanwhile, Minister of Tourism Wanit Waldron has strongly denied the allegations, saying she never received the detailed proposal about the festival concept from Wilson.
I will share on my page the 2002 proposal referred to in her post. There was nothing original about that proposal.
Waldron added that once Wilson raised concerns, all her materials were removed. She emphasized that the event is not political, but part of a long-standing vision to build Guyana's fashion industry. Waldron said she was unaware of the dispute until seeing Wilson's Instagram post and has since asked Graham to provide full documentation of his interaction with the designer.
I recently became aware and reject the false claims being made by Marissa Wilson, New York, and supported by known political activists that the Origins Guyana Fashion Festival represents her ideas and not those of the government of Guyana and those persons assembled to deliver this landmark event.
Despite the controversy, organizers says the show will go on, aiming to spotlight Guyana's creative potential and expand opportunities for local designers. In other news, the government continues to push forward with its national housing program as 1,000 more residents were allocated house lots on Monday at Viva La Force, Riceland, and Plantation Lorenzo in the Wales Housing Development, Region 3. The allocations were led by Minister of Housing and Water Colin Crowell and Minister within the ministry, Susan Rodriguez, at the Regional Housing Office in Port Joint, West Bank, Demerara. With around 10,000 pending housing applications in Region 3 alone, Minister Crowell assured residents that the backlog is being actively addressed. He committed that all applicants before December 31, 2024 will receive their allocation letters by the end of July 2025.
After today, all of the pending applicants prior to December 31st, 2024 will receive a letter or will have available a letter that commits that we will allocate by July. All pending applicants, or offer I should say, because it's an offer, it's for you to accept. We will offer by July, end of July, all other pending applicants who are December 31, 2024 applicants and prior.
The government has invested $10.5 billion into infrastructure works in the Wales housing scheme to support the expansion. Phase 1 of the works ensures access to the newly distributed land. So far, over 9,400 house lots have been allocated in Region 3, with nearly 2,900 in Wales. Minister Rodriguez highlighted the government's progress towards the 50,000 house lots in 5 years, noting that home ownership has transformed lives and empowered families. In addition, 768 land titles are being processed for new landowners at Plantation Metamurzorg Phase 2, allowing them to access loans and begin construction. The Steel and Cement Subsidy Program also continued, with 37 landowners receiving vouchers on Monday, part of over 214 vouchers already distributed in Region 3. Since the program began, more than 1,800 vouchers valued at over $467 million have been issued countrywide. Stick around when we return. Education Minister encourages grade 6 pupils ahead of NGSA, and Guyana vows proud at the World Expo 2025 in Japan.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Our smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services. Services. 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road, Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Welcome back. Minister of Education Marissa Beete has extended her best wishes and encouragement to all pupils preparing to write the National Grade 6 Assessment this week. She reaffirmed the ministry's commitment to ensuring that every child, regardless of their placement, will be equally supported with proper infrastructure, learning materials, and qualified teachers at the secondary level.
I know today is the day before your exams, your assessments, and I know you've been preparing for these. I want you to know that you have all our love, all our support, and a commitment by us and from us that it doesn't matter what school you get, you'll be able to do well at that school because we're making the same investments in every school regarding infrastructure, textbooks, trained teachers, labs, equipment in the labs, and so on.
The NGSA will be held on Wednesday, April 16th and Thursday, April 17th, and will test students in 4 core subjects: mathematics, English language, science, and social studies. The exam is the main tool for placing students into secondary schools nationwide. The Education Minister urged students to be confident in their approach to the exams.
What I want you to do tomorrow and on Thursday is to go into your assessments with full confidence that you will write what you know and that whatever happens, you'll be fine because we're going to look after you in secondary school with varied options about how you can get your schooling and what subjects you can do. This is a beautiful time. Do not be nervous. Do not be afraid. Do not be worried. This is just another stage to get into high school, and you're all getting into high school. Nobody fails this exam. It's a placement exam.
The Ministry of Education made available past exam papers, marking schemes, and other study resources online to assist the students. Minister Beete emphasized that every child deserves a quality education and urged students to do their best, noting that success will be met with the support they need to thrive in the next phase of their academic journey. In other news, Ghana is turning heads at the World Expo 2025 in Osaka, Japan, with more than 22,000 people visiting its booths on opening day Sunday, April 13th. Under the theme Sustainability Through Innovation, Ghana's low-carbon journey, the country is showing off its efforts to protect the environment while growing its economy. Visitors enjoy an interactive experience highlighting Ghana's lush rainforests, ecotourism, and plans for clean energy. The pavilion also features major national projects like Silica City, a future climate-friendly town, and the Amila Falls Hydro Project, which aims to provide renewable energy. Ghana will host the National Day on April 27, showcasing music, dance, food, and art. Minister of Tourism, Wanich Waldron, will speak about business and investment opportunities. The event runs until October 13 and brings countries together to share ideas for building a better future. Ghana's participation is led by the Ministry of Tourism, the Ghana Tourism Authority, and the Investment Office. Don't go away after the break. Lawsuit filed against Jet Set nightclub owners after deadly collapse. And Argentina lifts currency controls after securing a $20 billion IMF loan.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Our smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lenders, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. In the Caribbean, the first lawsuit has been filed against the owners of Jet Set nightclub in the Dominican Republic, where a roof collapsed and killed 231 people. The family of victim Virgilio Rafael Cruz Aponte is seeking damages and a criminal conviction for involuntary manslaughter. The suit also names the Dominican government and Santo Domingo's mayor office, President Luis Albindar. President Luis Albindar says new legislation is being drafted to address regulatory gaps. Meanwhile, in South America, Argentina is collecting the first $12 billion of a $20 billion loan granted to it by the International Monetary Fund. It is a huge boost to plans to salvage Argentina's battered economy. Al Jazeera's Daniel Schumiller reports.
It was a lightning visit. The US Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, spent just 12 hours in Argentina, meeting President Javier Milei, praising his economic reforms and pledging to reduce trade barriers between the two countries.
I am here today to express the support for President Milei and his administration's vision for this beautiful country. More importantly, I am here to express the Trump administration's admiration and partnership with the Argentine people. You were willing to make the tough choices over the short run to make Argentina great again.
The seeds planted in our relations with the United States must be sufficiently strong to expand across the whole region.
Bessent arrived as Argentina received the first $12 billion of a $20 billion loan agreed with the International Monetary Fund. The government immediately lifted currency controls. What next? Will the measures tame rampant inflation or halt the continuous slide of the peso against the dollar, bring down prices?
We are living through economic hard times, socially worse. It's deplorable what's happening to the lower middle and working classes, while they are giving money to the financiers who will only speculate with it.
We're desperate because we don't have enough to reach the end of the month. Rents are high, the cost of living is high, clothes and food are expensive, so we're desperate.
Since 1958, the IMF has granted Argentina 23 loans. It owes the fund more money and has defaulted more times than any other country. Previous loans of $57 billion in 2018 and $44 billion in 2022 did little to solve the country's deep-rooted economic problems. Another multi-billion-dollar rescue package, another high-level visit. But Argentinians have seen so many rescue packages fail and so many promises broken that any optimism is tinged with a large dose of caution. President Milei used a symbolic chainsaw to cut state spending, plunging thousands into poverty. Necessary, he said, to get the IMF loan. Argentina again waits nervously, hoping that this time the promises being made will come true. Daniel Schweimner, Al Jazeera, Buenos Aires.
The U.S. does not have plans to return a man the court says was wrongfully deported to El Salvador. Kilmar Albrego Garcia is accused of being a member of the Salvadorian gang MS-13. In a unanimous decision, the Supreme Court ruled the government must bring him home, but the Department of Justice says it has no power to force El Salvador to release Garcia from prison and send him back to the U.S. Al Jazeera's Alan Fisher reports.
El Salvador's president's arrival at the White House comes as the Trump administration is under pressure to bring back a man the courts say was wrongly deported. Kilmar Abrego Garcia's family have demanded his return. He arrived in the US illegally from El Salvador 14 years ago, but was rounded up in a recent immigration crackdown. A court initially blocked his deportation on grounds he feared for his safety, but the plane carrying him and others had already left. He was sent to a notorious mega prison in El Salvador, leaving a wife and family back in Maryland. The courts have ruled he was wrongly deported, and the Trump administration need to facilitate his return. Not going to happen, according to Attorney General Pam Bondi.
Two courts, an immigration court and an appellate immigration court, ruled that he was a member of MS-13 and he was illegally in our country. Right now, it was additional paperwork had needed to be done. That's up to El Salvador if they want to return him. That's not up to us.
The Trump administration says Garcia is a member of the notorious street gang MS-13. They have been designated as a terrorist organization by a Donald Trump executive order. That means, the White House says, that he can't come back to the United States. And El Salvador's president says he's not going to help with his return.
How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
The prison in El Salvador is regarded as one of the toughest in the world, but it's credited as key in reducing gang-related violence in the country. Donald Trump says if the law allowed, he'd send some American citizens to jail there.
If they rape 87-year-old women in Coney Island, Brooklyn, yeah, that includes them. What, do you think there's a special category of person?
The White House says they won't intervene in what El Salvador does with its own citizens and insists no court can tell the President of the United States how to run foreign policy. Alan Fisher, Al Jazeera, at the White House.
Finally, the war in Ukraine appears stalled strategically, but Russia continues making gradual territorial gains, now controlling 20% of the country. Ukrainian forces aim to make advances prohibitively costly for Russia, but this strategy requires sustained troop numbers amid recruitment challenges. Al Jazeera's Zain Bashravi reports.
Take a broad view of the war in Ukraine and it feels more like a stalemate than a moving conflict. But on the ground, Russia continues to make gains, now controlling approximately 20% of the country. Ukrainian troops on the front line say making Russia pay heavily for every inch will eventually make the price of occupation too high. But it is a strategy that requires more and more soldiers.
If there's nobody to stop them, they will move further. They will move right to Poland borders. Of course, those who voluntarily join, those are more motivated. And I think the state should create those terms.
Battlefield commanders have been warning for months. Keeping up troop numbers is critical. Desertions and recruiting fresh troops have become a serious problem. Viral videos showing often brutal methods used by draft officers to grab men of serving age off the street is also a public relations problem. The government is trying new ways of appealing to more young people to join the fight voluntarily. TikTok videos that help to soften the image of the armed forces, giving those fighting the war a more human face.
And then there are ad campaigns like this one, a poster depicting a soldier from Ukraine's 3rd Assault Brigade sitting next to a vanquished alien invader. The message, Ukraine's military is ready for anything.
Even opposition MPs acknowledge there are no good options. And though there are no guarantees against death or injury, the government can do more to encourage volunteers.
There are other concerns that people are having that can be addressed by the government. One is, for instance, a lack of proper training. I mean, the quality of the training you get once you're mobilized differs a lot.
Her partner has been serving as a surgeon on the front line since the war began. She says making sure people have an out date will also encourage others to join.
Right now, I don't know when he's getting back, right? Because there is no limit to how much a person can serve. So this is a concern for another like 20% of the people. They say like, okay, I'm ready to mobilize for, let's say, 2 years. But if you mobilize me and I'm going to serve until the war is over, then I'm not doing that.
From the outset, Ukraine has been at a disadvantage, outnumbered and outgunned by a country with a population 4 times its own. Modern tech and tactics have helped to narrow the gap. But this remains at its core a war fought in trenches, with tanks, artillery, and rifles. The old rules of land warfare in Europe still hold. Gaining territory and keeping it takes boots on the ground. Zain Basravi, Al Jazeera, Kyiv.
This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's Safety Week 2 Headline News for this Tuesday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourselves and each other.